Today I'm going to be reading a little bit of a longer story, but it's also very important, and it is really having to do with the self. And while our self seems real and substantial, it helps our disidentification practice to remember that our self is only evolving and impermanent patterns in the mind and the brain. The self exists in the way that memory allows it to exist. However, like all physical biological processes, their existence is transient and illusory, and thus foolish clinging to it. To quote Richard Hanson, MD, whatever of self there is in the brain, it is compounded and distributed, not coherent and unified. It is variable and transient, not stable and enduring. In other words, the conventional notice of self is a mythical creature. When we come to understand that the representations of self are only fictional, and what they represent does not substantially exist, we then can start talking our self, as the expression goes, with a grain of salt, or not take it literally. So for us to do that, and this is a revolutionary discovery and very important understanding, our mind needs to be trained with some long-term disciplined practice. The more we study how our mind and brain are intertwined, the more we can use the mind to change the brain, which then supports our future mind. Neuropsychology supports the idea that we have the freedom and possibility to condition and create our particular mind states supported by our nurtured brain structures. So in the end, after the gradual ripening of the maturation and transformation of our habits, latent tendencies, disidentification, with the subjective ownership of experience, calming and stabilizing our physiology and behavior in our life patterns, we no longer respond immaturely or egotistically to our desires and aversions. Does that mean we become emotionless and detached automatons? No, just the opposite. Instead, we have developed the perspective and ability to remain stable, balanced, not susceptible to the quirky ups and downs of our immature, selfish emotions. Even for the most accomplished meditators, strong emotions can arise. When they do, they are observed with acceptance and objectivity of mindfulness and the stability of equanimity. While emotions can have an impact, it is only momentarily, or at best a short time before the stability of calm and dispassion evaporate them away. Through the transformative process, there becomes a greater awareness and respect for our body, serenity of the emotions, and increased kindness of the heart, flexible and realistic attitudes, more genuine human relationships growing out of a deeper awareness of our affinity with the web of life and the relinquishing of the great poisons of greed, anger, and ignorance. We learn not only how to proceed anew, but also importantly, what we can do without. We learn through a clear understanding and acceptance of our shortcomings and the extent of our unwholesome tendencies, an ever greater sense of humility that our path to regaining our original mind will take time, personal effort, and commitment to the path. In the end, an arahant can be described with two words, simple and stable, for they have come to value the present moment, elementary life experiences, life as it is, not as a construction of what it should be. The cravings, identifications, and self-enhancements are no longer potent forces in one's life. Instead, in the simplicity of everyday existence, we can actively participate fully in the creation of our now, carefully, with creativity, sensitivity, and forethought. We enact our actions to interact wholesomely in the medium of life. We are artists, and life becomes our art form. We act and respond and modify as the forms created through our interactions with life are constantly changing. We and our medium of interaction grow and transform by degrees. And as a result of our learning, using insightful awareness in all aspects of our life. Everything is impermanent. Everything is interchangeable. The teachings of the Buddha are profound.